I was young, I didn't think about aging at all. I didn't think about the changes, my hair, my face, my body. I was enjoying life. I really never thought about going gray, getting wrinkles. I would stand still forever, just as I was.
Oh, I could not think it.
Hello again, this is Sandra Hart of Life Over 60. The trend today seems to be that more and more women are thinking about going gray. Now, this is a decision that I made quite a few years ago, but in a way I was forced to do it. I just didn't do it naturally, but I am so grateful that everything turned out the way that it did. But I really believe that nature has made us to keep our natural aging process. And therefore, if your hair is gray or graying, I think it would be fun just to let it grow out to see what's absolutely under your hair dye. So if you are thinking about growing gray, this video is for you. Now, I was a natural blonde my whole life. I enhanced it a little bit when I was in adult years, by using bleach or some type of hair coloring to bring out all make it more blonde. And then the older I got, my blonde hair started to get dishwater color. It was just starting to get fade. The blonde was just fading, and it looked really, really dull. So I went to my hairdresser, and he suggested that I put maybe a little darker blonde hair lights through my hair, and so that would give my hair a little bit of shine and would take out the dull look in my hair. Well, he did that, but he forgot to give me, or maybe he never ever gives anyone, a patch test. I had such a horrible allergic reaction because I had never gone darker with my hair. I had always used bleach in my hair, so I'd never had dye in my hair before. And I had such an allergic reaction. My face blew up like a balloon. I had oozing sores all over my face. It was just awful. I couldn't sleep. It was burning like a million bees had stung me. Well, it turned out after I had a lot of tests that I am allergic to phenylphenyldiamine, and that is one of the products that is in most dye products, but he never patch tested me. So in order to get that dye out of my hair that he put in that would help ease my condition was that I had to have my hair completely stripped. So they took all of the color out of my hair, and it looked just about like this. But I was a lot younger. I was in my 30s, and I didn't want to look like I had white hair. But I had to walk around with that white hair until it grew out. And I let it grow long, and it grew out. And so I had this blonde gray hair. And then I went on an audition for Catherine the Great, and she was a redhead. And one of the casting directors suggested, why don't you dye your hair red? And I said, I can't. I'm allergic to it. So the makeup artist came to my rescue, and the person that was doing all the costumes. And she said, well, why don't you try henna? And I never really thought about henna. So I researched, and I went to a specialist in New York who was a specialist in hair dyes, natural hair dyes. And she dyed my hair. Now, this is the product that I used. So she dyed my hair red. Everybody loved it so much that I just kept my red hair for maybe about, until about 2004 or 2005. But this is the product I used. and I think they still make it. It's Color the Gray Light Mountain Natural. It's a double process because regular henna just doesn't cover gray very well. So it was a double process, and I wound up with this gorgeous, gorgeous red hair that I kept for years and years. And then when I was about maybe little over 65, 67, 68, somewhere around there, I was doing this myself, putting on the henna by myself, and my hair was not getting that deep, beautiful color that it used to get. It was almost becoming like Lucille Ball. It was starting to look orange. And I really didn't like that look. It was awful. And I didn't know what to do, so I went to a hairdresser friend of mine where I lived in New Jersey, and I said, what can I do with my hair? I can't dye it. The henna is just not taking. What can I do? And she looked straight at me. She said, well, why don't you see what's under there? And I said, well, yeah, I guess, but I don't know what's under there. Probably some, awful looking mouse-colored gray again. And she said, well, that's the only thing we can do. We either have to take it out of your hair or else you have to just let it grow a little bit inch by inch. And that was so painful because I had this bright red clown hair and I didn't want to walk around with it with gray coming in. So the only thing she could do then was to try to take the henna out of my hair. Well, henna grabs so deeply, and I had been using it for so many years that it grabbed onto my hair and she couldn't get it out. She bleached my hair, the strongest bleach possible, and it came out bright, bright orange. So I didn't know what to do. I wore a scarf and I came home, and my daughter Brett came to the rescue. She has her hairdresser's license. She used to be a hairdresser. She says, Mother, I have a product for you. And she got me I think it was a Clairol color. It was like a butter blonde. It was the brightest blonde ever. So she put it on my hair, and we let it stay on a little bit longer than natural. It's a wonder my hair didn't fall out after all this process. And believe it or not, it took the henna completely out of my hair, and I was a platinum blonde. So I said, oh great, this is good. I love the color of my hair. But as my hair, and I had my hair really short because of all the damage that was done from trying to strip my hair of the henna. So I had my hair really short, a little bit shorter than it is today. And as it grew out, I was in shock because underneath that henna that I had worn for the last years when it was so getting lighter and lighter and lighter was this beautiful platinum hair. So I was thrilled, and I thought to myself, why didn't I do this years ago? So I had been walking around with a henna head trying to camouflage what was underneath there, what nature gave me, when I could have had beautiful platinum hair all along. So sometimes nature really knows what it's doing. As we get older, our skin changes. Our skin gets thinner. It changes texture and tone and color. That's just part of the aging process. So, in my opinion, if you dye your hair really, really dark, unless you want some type of dramatic look, if you're going for that, hey, that's cool, and if you like it, that's okay too. But if you really want to age gracefully and naturally, nature knows what it's doing. And I know it's very hard to let your hair grow out. It's in baby steps. If you have long hair, you either cut it shorter and then you get, or have your hairdresser just touch up your roots with, or streak it with gray colors, and something to blend in the color that you have that's growing out on the ends. And they have wonderful root touch-up products today that you can use that eventually wash out, so you can be touching up your roots as your hair grows out so that there is not such a difference in your defining hair color. And if you don't touch the other part of your hair, the dye will eventually fade and wash out, so that the difference between your roots and the rest of your hair will not be so prominent. But I noticed that there are maybe a couple of creators on YouTube that I see that may be growing their hair out naturally, and it really, really looks so beautiful. But it isn't easy, and it's a choice that you really have to make, because you have to be dedicated to letting your dye disappear and your roots to grow out. But today they really do have products, and they have ways that they can camouflage the color that's coming in. For instance, if you have about that much hair growth coming in, they can always do some type of light, natural looking frosting to kind of blend that part in with the rest of your hair. And I don't know. I really am so happy I did it. I am sorry I didn't do it earlier. And the women that I know that look so glamorous and gorgeous are the women that are natural. Look at Cindy Josephs of Boom Cosmetics. She absolutely looks beautiful. My friend Linda Rodin has steel gray and white hair, and she looks so glamorous and lovely. I think you really owe it to yourself to make the effort to see just exactly what is under there. Even if you grow your roots out just a little tiny bit, you can tell what's under there. And if you like what you see, then go forward with the process. If you're not happy with the color of your hair and you don't think you're going to like it, then of course go back to using your hair color that you have always loved. But listen, this is another chapter for us. So see if you can maybe switch it up a bit and go natural. It's a beautiful look. I saw Julia Louise-Dreyfus the other day. I saw a picture of her, and because of her chemotherapy that she has done for her breast cancer, she has allowed her hair, or at least allowed her hair to go gray. But I think probably because she's in show business, it won't last. She'll probably go back to dyeing her hair. I don't know, but I would assume that that might be the case. Think about it. If you are thinking of growing out your hair, it is a process, but there are ways that you can cover up your roots growing out, and you may really be very excited with the new you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video. And don't forget to be kind to yourself. Do something really nice for yourself today. Be kind to someone else, and of course, share the love and share that platinum or gray or silver that's up there with all of us, with the world. See you soon.